I want to take a quick moment to share a church short, kind of just a compact version of the message from this past weekend. We had a great time in church. It was a great atmosphere. Worship was phenomenal. If you were there, let me know in the comment section and what you thought about it. But we've been traveling through a series at the moment on 1 Peter. And this week we found ourselves in this position where there was actually quite a lot of tension in the passage, because Peter is writing most likely from a place of persecution, writing to a church or to the churches that were undergoing severe persecution through the Roman Empire. And what Peter is talking about, he's sharing this insight of how do we live under persecution. Now, a lot of us, we kind of grown up in a Christianized government or a Christianized society, and we've gotten used to certain rights, and we've not come from a predominantly unchristian worldview, which is actually starting to rise now, that a lot of governments are holding on to certain biblical principles, yet they are living a very anti-Christian or an unchristian undertone, and a lot of laws that are being passed are progressively becoming more and more unfitting for believers. And so kind of the reason what's happening is there's this collision course that's happening between culture and the church, or culture and the ways of Jesus. And Peter is writing this letter to people who understand what it's like to live in an unchristian world, in a world where Christian values and beliefs were actually in the minority. And that's why the message of Jesus was so revolutionary, because the Christianity was birthed inside this place where it was okay to have many gods. It was okay to live a certain kind of lifestyle. Yet when Jesus came, he revolutionized it all and said, there is a way to Jesus, that is the way to God that has been paid for you. There is a way to God to know him, but it's only one God. And there's a way to serve him, and that's through love and kindness and service and all these other ways that were revolutionary in the days that they heard it. And so Peter is not surprised to say that you're going to face persecution of all sorts, of all types. Today in the Western world, we don't like that idea. We want to fight for our rights. We want to fight for Christian values and beliefs, and a lot of that is really, really good, and we should fight for certain things. But what's happening is that Peter is speaking to us 2,000 years later through his letter to say, well, when this day comes, this is how you respond and react to it. When collision course happens, this is how you respond. And we already see that happening in culture today, where laws are being passed in schools and in communities that rub up against our Christian beliefs and our Christian values, and we don't like it, and we don't have to like it. But there is a way that we can respond. Problem is, if we accept what the world is teaching as truth, then we have to compromise what we believe. Or on the other the false assumption is that, okay, what we mustn't do is we mustn't accept it, we have to fight up against it. And that creates an incredible tension. I love what Chris Hodges wrote in his book called The Daniel Dilemma. He said that he said truth without grace is mean. Grace without truth is meaningless. But both truth and grace together is good medicine. And that's what our world needs, is an element of grace and truth. That's how Jesus came, in truth and in grace. And what I find today is that a lot of believers, they take to social media and they're actually just mean on different issues that other Christians are facing, or different belief systems, or different ways of seeing the world, or different laws that are being passed. And they can be really mean and saying mean things. And then there's this other side of Christianity that's just pouring on loads and loads of grace. No matter how people go to hell or what people think, it's just so much grace. What we need to do is come in grace and truth. And that's a tricky line to walk. In my message, I shared 3 points that Peter was bringing about. I don't have time to go into detail. If you want to watch that message, you can jump over to our YouTube channel and you'll get the full message there. Just type in View Church Sunningdale into YouTube and you'll find the message coming up called Collision Course. But these are sort of the overarching 3 points. is that Peter says that we have to have certain characteristics that keep our tongue from evil. Things like humility, things like kindness, things like just having a good attitude that keep us from responding to culture in a way that's really mean and unloving. So let's keep our tongue from evil. The second thing he talks about is don't retaliate, don't repay evil for evil. So if someone is pushing a cultural viewpoint, you don't have to push back in meanness or retaliation. You can actually do something that's completely different, completely revolutionary, completely Jesus-like. And that's the third one, that is to seek peace and to bless. To actually pursue peace rather than retaliation, and seek to bless where others seek to curse. And what Peter says is this is going to create a type of confusion in people where they're going to lean in and go, why are you responding so differently? Why are you responding with incredible peace? Why are you responding in an incredible, in a way that nobody else is responding? You're not tolerant, but you are loving. You don't agree, but you do care. And pretty much it comes down to this. Yes, we should fight for issues of justice. But here's the bottom line, and the takeaway from the message was this simple. Don't let what we are fighting for compromise our Christian witness. Because Peter is saying, listen, this is the world that we live in, and we might not like it, but we can serve so that we can be a witness for Jesus. And that is our ultimate goal in life, is to be a witness for Jesus. We're not in a Christianized world. We're in a post-Christian, post-modern world right now, and we need to learn how to have a healthy Christian witness. And I have not seen anybody being fought into the kingdom of God. I've never seen anybody criticized into the kingdom of God. I have seen people loved into the kingdom of God and served into the kingdom of God and invited into the kingdom of God. And so how Peter says this, he says, listen, once you live in this way where you're keeping your tongue from evil, where you're not retaliating, and where you're blessing and seeking peace, when people lean in, make sure you witness in these three ways. To give them the reason for the hope that you have. Listen, I just got to apologize for all this angle grinding that's happening outside here right now. Apologies for that. So you've got to give them a reason for the hope that you have so they can actually know and be inclined to hear that Jesus is the reason why you are the way you are. Hello everybody joining, and how's it going, Phil? Thanks for the clap. The second thing that Peter says is be gentle and respectful. So when you say Jesus is the reason, do it with gentleness and respect in a way that, hey, they might not believe what you believe, and you can be gentle, you can respect their beliefs and still be bold in proclaiming the reason why you have hope and why you have faith. So that you don't have to belittle them, but you can help them to understand and you can respect what they believe. And the third one is this, is to lead with a Christ-like example. That's already what we've been doing on the front end. So that they would see the way you live and serve and see that there is great power to the message that you hold to and believe. Bottom line is this, let's not let the issues we're fighting for or the issues we hold so dearly to compromise our Christian beliefs. Let's bring both truth and grace, because we're on a collision course with culture. Now, whenever culture and the gospel collide, the beautiful thing that comes out of that is a Christian witness that leads people to the reason, leads people to the solution and the great joy that is in the message of Jesus. Guys, I hope that the church short has been helpful to you. Again, listen, jump into the message. You get all of the marrow that you can suck out of that message if you go over to our YouTube page, View Church Sunningdale, and watch the message there called Collision Course. Thanks so much for watching. Hey, if you want to drop a question or a comment into this video feed, we would love to get back to you and to see how we can continue to help you. God bless you, and we'll see you guys this coming Sunday. Come join us in person. Otherwise, if you can't, jump online at 9 a.m. and we'll see you there.